corner. He steps in wearing the color red, vestido de color rojo. Su peso oficial, 253 libras, his official weight, 253 pounds. Invicto a nivel profesional, con 11 victorias. 7 de sus victorias por la vía del knockout. He enters the ring, an undefeated fighter with 11 victories. 7 of his victories coming by way of knockout. El pre-olímpico mexicano de los Juegos 2008. He's a former member of the pre-Olympian Mexican team in 2008. Fighting out of Imperial Valley, California, y Puro Chicali, Baja California, México, Andy Ruiz Jr.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the dressing area. I expect you to obey all my commands. Protect yourself at all times. This is okay. This is a little high. Watch yourself, come out boxing, go back to your corner. Thank you.
Final instructions from your referee tonight for this heavyweight fight, Richard Soto. We are scheduled for 6 rounds. There's Andy Ruiz, 11-0 in his young career. And I was talking about when he made his debut, Rich, he was 300 pounds, so he's been really working that battle against the weight and comes in at a svelte 252 tonight.
Well, he seems to come down a little bit with every fight, so he has been serious about his weight loss. Tonight he fights a guy that is bigger than him. We're usually watching him fight guys that are much smaller than he is, but Ruiz, you will see, if you haven't seen him before, while he isn't chiseled and he fights flat-footed, he is very quick-handed. I think he has 2 of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division, and people are shocked by his speed.
See him going to the body right there, working on Ken Franks. Ken Franks is a correctional officer up in Alberta, so he's got a tough job away from here. Took this fight on 5 days' notice, and give him credit, he's here.
Yeah, well, it's like he said, you know, I had a choice. Sure, it was 5 days' notice, but it was either spend the night in jail with a bunch of prisoners or go out on the river and
hang out
in Arizona on a beautiful
night. Up top, Ruiz really showing some speed there, Rich.
With that speed of hand that he has. Andy Ruiz is a very intriguing prospect, I would say, Alan. He's a kid who fights very well. He's got good power, although he's finding the guys a little harder to knock out than he did early in his career. There's that speed of hand. Look how quick he unloads those punches.
8-punch combination upstairs. Ken Franks said he was going to try to box this kid, but unless you've got a really, really hard jab, which Ken doesn't have, Andy's going to get on top of you and fast. And as Rich was saying, you just saw the witness of the speed, and there's a lot behind that speed too. You're talking about 254 pounds behind him.
He's working with Miguel Diaz in the corner tonight. He has worked a lot with Freddie Roach at the Wildcard Gym, but now he's working out in training in Las Vegas and getting a little bit more concentrated training with Miguel Diaz, although he has not cut connection with Freddie Roach. But Freddie's a little busy these days with some rather big-name stars.
Well, he has the mantle right now of trying to become the first ever Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. He has trained with a young fighter who was trying to do that as a Mexican heritage. Oh, there's the upstairs slapping around right there. The hook's coming fast and furious. I was going to say he sparred with Chris Arreola out of Riverside, and he's also been in the ring in LA with Evander Holyfield, which could teach him a thing or two. I'll tell you what. He's headhunting, Rich.
Well, one thing that he does is he takes his opponents by surprise. As he put it today, and these are his words, guys look over at him from the other corner and they see this chubby guy who they just feel obviously is going to be a slow, chubby guy. And he goes, they're shocked by what comes at them.
Right. Closing out the first round of a heavyweight fight tonight. We'll be right back from Park, Arizona.
Right as we were breaking for commercial, this came right as the bell, or actually after the bell had sounded. That left hook by Ruiz flooring Ken Frank. We talked to the referee between rounds, Alan. He said it was no knockdown, but he did not deduct any points from Ruiz, feeling it was an accidental
Ruiz.
He wore his One Tough Indian shirt into the ring tonight. He says he's got a boxing gear line, One Tough Indian boxing gear.
He's still trying to fire that jab out there, but Andy's been having a good time coming over the top of it.
Well, he did say, Frank, that I've seen the kid fight. He's really got a lot of skill and he's fast of hand. He goes, I'm not going to walk into that. He goes, I'm not going to sit there and exchange with him. I'm going to try to keep him away. I'm going to try to box him.
Andy doing a good job at times going to the body, which I think would be although he's got a rather thick body to go through right there, but he can slow Frank down and bring his hands down if he does that and get the knockout he's anticipating tonight, I'm sure. You mentioned something to him today that his knockouts, how he started out, they're not coming as quickly as they were early on when he first started, which hasn't been that long ago. But he's having to get some extra work in. He's scheduled for 6 here.
He said he'd like to get down to about 245. It'd be a good fighting weight for him. So that's not that much further for him to go. He's never going to be a chiseled heavyweight.
It's just not the body type to even think about that. But he says he's running 4 miles in the morning and doing his sprints at 4 miles. Man, that's like a truck going down the road. And Frank stuck his head in right there. And he's paying a price. Left hand, right hand, up against the ropes. Digging to the body. Prison guard is staggered right now, Reg. He's staggered. He took a lot of punishment there. He doesn't have a lot of an answer right here.
No,
Ruiz knows it.
He's just trying to keep him off with his long left, but that's just not working.
No. He's just getting pounded out. Soto looking at the referee. I think Frank's determination's just going to fall right over the talisman talk about his corner. And they're going to wave it off.
El vencedor por nocaut técnico, your winner by way of technical knockout, Andy Ruiz Jr.
Welcome guys, thanks for joining me again in this update. I hope you're all well. So the fight between Andy Ruiz Jr. and Ken Frank took place on September 17th, 2011 at the Bluewater Resort and Casino in Arizona, USA. An early fight, of course, in the career of Andy Ruiz Jr. This was an explosive display of his hand speed and ability to generate devastating power in the heavyweight ranks. So guys, one of the scariest things to experience in boxing is to get into the ring and find out at that point that your opponent is 10 times better than you had anticipated. Now, this is taking into account that you've watched a fight or two of your opponent and you have also trained for the best version of him to turn up on fight night. The feeling of coming into contact with someone who is seemingly stronger, faster and smarter than you can be disheartening. That is enough to send you into survival mode during the fight. It can also make you reconsider your judgment and decision to participate in the sport. Once you start to feel the pummeling power punches descending on your face, it can be overbearing, and this is truly why boxing is such a character building sport. Now, to be honest, I don't believe Andy Ruiz's opponent, Ken Frank, had taken all things into account, and more to the point, he couldn't have, because the fight was only taken on 5 days notice. But in general, he wasn't technically sound or physically skilled and didn't demonstrate that he was capable of defending himself against a boxer with a decent level of skill. So this example of what I'm talking about doesn't necessarily apply to him. Now, with Andy Ruiz Jr., he's definitely a boxer whose looks can be deceiving. So knowing that as a heavyweight he can look this way and still be dangerous is understandably counterintuitive, but very important to comprehend if you are to face such a beast. And come August 3rd, this is what Jarrell Big Baby Miller will have to come to terms with, as he will be Andy Ruiz Jr.'s next opponent in Los Angeles. Like always, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Anyway guys, that's all for now. I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Please remember to smash the like button if you have enjoyed watching this particular update. Remember to leave a comment in the comment section if you want to add anything about Andy Ruiz Jr. So until my next one, peace out.